She might smile at you, talk sweetly, and seem engaged, but her body tells the real story. Before a woman ever says a word, her body has already whispered the truth. While most men waste time interpreting her words, successful men decode what her body reveals without her permission. Words can lie. Her biology cannot. Every shift in her posture, every flicker of her gaze, and every involuntary breath she takes under arousal is a window into her unconscious desires. If you've ever wondered whether a woman truly wants you, not just likes you, not just finds you interesting, but wants you, the answers are hidden in her body's uncontrollable reactions. This isn't about surface-level body language. It's about the raw, primal responses built into the female nervous system. Understanding these responses separates the confused from the confident, the men who chase from the men who are chosen. The biological blueprint of female lust. Attraction begins where awareness ends. In her autonomic nervous system. When a woman feels real sexual desire, her body fires off a cascade of physiological signals that no amount of social training can suppress. Her pupils dilate. Her skin flushes. Her breathing deepens. These aren't conscious choices, they're biological imperatives passed down through millennia. This evolutionary wiring ensured that women who could subtly signal arousal to dominant, high-value males, while preserving their social safety, were more likely to survive and reproduce. That wiring is still active today. She might not even know why she's doing it. But her body knows. Lust versus politeness, the fatal mistake most men make. Too many men confuse friendliness for flirtation. They mistake polite smiles and casual conversation for sexual invitation. But the biological signatures of lust are entirely different from those of social pleasantries. A woman who is merely being kind maintains emotional distance, neutral body language, and consistent personal space. But a woman who is aroused, she invites invasion. She leans in. Her body orients toward yours. She starts breathing like she's just finished a sprint. Recognizing this difference is the difference between being respected and being used. Her eyes, the uncontrollable mirror of arousal. Her eyes are the single most revealing portal to her desire, because they're directly linked to her sympathetic nervous system. When sexually aroused, her pupils dilate involuntarily, even in bright settings. This expansion isn't about lighting, it's about wanting. But it's not just dilation. A woman into you holds your gaze longer than she should. She gives you that look, lowered eyelids, softened eyes, and an unmistakable tension that lingers between each blink. You'll notice her gaze drifting to your lips, again and again. That's her imagining the kiss before you've even considered leaning in. Posture, she'll lean toward what she craves. Arousal bends the body. It aligns her posture toward the man she wants, even if she doesn't realize she's doing it. A truly interested woman angles her torso, hips, and even her feet in your direction. She unconsciously reduces space, invades your proximity, and finds ways to stay close, even in crowded settings. She might stand straighter, chest lifted, shoulders back, not to impress everyone, but to impress you. The more she wants, the closer she gets. Touch, the line between nice and naughty. Nothing reveals interest faster than touch, because it requires both conscious initiation and unconscious desire. A woman who is just friendly avoids unnecessary touch. A woman who's aroused, she creates reasons to touch you. Often. She might accidentally brush against your hand, linger while handing you something, or find a way to laugh with her fingers on your arm. Soon, it becomes more direct, a hand on your chest, playful nudges, or grazing your thigh. And when you touch her, she leans in instead of pulling back. That's not friendliness, that's readiness. She'll also touch herself, her neck, her hair, her lips, drawing your gaze toward her most sensitive and erogenous zones. It's instinctual. And incredibly revealing. Voice, the sound of seduction. Her voice changes when she wants you. Sexual arousal lowers vocal pitch, slows pacing, and softens tone. She speaks more slowly, her breath more deliberate. Her words become smoother, more hypnotic, laced with charged pauses that hang in the air. She might laugh more, sigh more, or whisper even when she doesn't need to. These subtle sound shifts are signals. She doesn't just want to be heard, she wants to pull you in. Hair and neck, subconscious displays of vulnerability. Watch her hair. Watch her neck. They're primal beacons of desire. A woman in lust reveals these areas unconsciously, tossing her hair, tilting her neck, playing with strands like it's nothing. But it's everything. She exposes her neck, caresses her collarbone, or runs fingers along her hair to signal openness. These displays don't happen in isolation, they repeat, cluster, and build as arousal intensifies. Breathing and pulse, the rhythm of desire. Sexual arousal increases heart rate and deepens breath. Watch her chest rise and fall. See the pulse quicken in her neck or wrists. Feel her energy change as she begins to breathe in sync with you, a biological alignment rooted in reproduction. She'll sigh more. Take slower, deeper breaths. Flush slightly in the face or neck. These reactions are involuntary, and undeniable. Mirroring and synchronization, bodies in harmony. When a woman is truly drawn to you, her body will start to reflect yours. She mimics your gestures. Aligns her posture. Matches your pace and rhythm. This isn't strategy, it's biology. Her nervous system is attuning to yours. Her speech patterns begin to echo yours. Her breathing matches yours. Her movements harmonize with your timing. This is intimacy without words. This is desire made visible. Territorial displays, marking what she wants. A woman who wants you doesn't just signal, she claims. She'll position herself between you and other women. She'll initiate more contact when rivals are present. She might touch you more, laugh louder, or dominate the conversation just to keep other women at bay. If she gets visibly bothered when you give another woman attention, that's not insecurity. That's competition. And it means she sees you as a sexual prize worth defending. Presentation tweaks, the arousal adjustment. Watch closely. Aroused women adjust. She'll pull down her shirt a bit more. Smooth her dress. Tilt her hips to exaggerate her shape. She might apply lipstick, check her hair, or fidget with jewelry, all to highlight what nature gave her. These aren't vanity behaviors. They're mating cues. A woman who doesn't care doesn't prepare. Invading space, closing the distance. She'll find reasons to be near. She'll sit closer than necessary, brush past you instead of walking around, or move objects into your space to create connection. She might lean into corners or suggest quieter areas to talk, all to build an environment of intimacy. These space violations are rarely conscious. But they are deeply intentional. Oral behaviors, feeding instincts meet desire. Sexual desire increases sensuality. She'll eat slower. Drink more seductively. Offer you sips of her drink or bites of her food. She'll lick her lips, bite them softly, or draw attention to her mouth. These oral cues are some of the most primal, hinting at subconscious desires rooted in ancient biology, nurturing, feeding, and intimacy. Vulnerability, the final signal of trust. When a woman feels genuine desire, she opens up. She relaxes. Her arms unfold, her body softens, and she begins revealing her neck, her wrists, her thoughts. She asks for your opinion, seeks your guidance, and subtly submits to your leadership. This openness isn't weakness. It's her way of inviting closeness, emotionally and physically. The power of pattern recognition. No single sign means everything. But when the signals come in clusters, dilated pupils, soft voice, frequent touch, deep breath, proximity, and gaze, the message is undeniable: she wants you. These signals intensify with time and appear early in attraction. In the right setting, they can become a flashing green light if you know how to interpret them. Why most men miss it, and why you won't. Women's bodies are constantly sending signals, but only the sexually aware man sees them. Most men rely on her words, and end up confused. The man who understands lustful body language knows when to act, when to pull back, and when to walk away. When you learn to read her body, you gain strategic advantages few men ever develop. You stop wasting time chasing disinterest. You stop hesitating in front of opportunity. You stop wondering what her texts mean. You know. You'll never again be the guy who misses the signals. You'll be the man who sees, and acts with clarity. Because female desire isn't a mystery. It's a biological code waiting to be cracked by the man who's learned how to read it. Conclusion: sexual intelligence is the modern man's edge. In a world flooded with confusion, mixed signals, and performative social behavior, the man who understands the true language of female desire gains an overwhelming advantage, not just in dating, but in his very sense of self. You've just unlocked a reality that most men never even glimpse. While they cling to verbal cues and overanalyze text messages, you now understand that female sexual attraction isn't spoken, it's displayed through involuntary, biological signals. These aren't opinions. These are evolutionary facts written into her nervous system, stamped into her physiology, and revealed through every unguarded moment her body offers. This knowledge isn't about manipulation. It's about discernment. Because as a man in the modern world, you must protect your energy, your time, and your emotional investment. And nothing wastes more of all three than misreading a woman's intentions. Chasing politeness, ignoring disinterest, and building fantasies on smiles that meant nothing. But the man who is sexually intelligent, he doesn't chase. He notices. He doesn't beg for attention. He selects based on truth. He doesn't misinterpret friendliness as flirtation, because he's trained to look deeper. He watches for involuntary biological tells. He tracks the tone of her voice, the dilation of her pupils, the angle of her hips, and the rhythm of her breathing. And when those signals align, he knows exactly what they mean. The difference between average and exceptional. The average man tries to convince a woman to like him. The exceptional man lets her reveal that she already does. This is the line that separates the two. One is guessing. The other is reading signals directly from her biology. When you understand lustful female body language, you no longer fall for the traps that drain most men. The endless, friend zone, traps. The polite but uninterested coworker. The flirty party girl who disappears the moment you show interest. The girl who uses you for validation with no real attraction. You'll never waste time wondering what went wrong with women who were never into you to begin with, because their bodies told you everything. This doesn't just save time. It saves your dignity, your confidence, and your masculine energy, all of which are too precious to waste on illusions. Attraction is not a mystery, it's a pattern. Here's the hard truth: women are constantly communicating. Just not always with their words. When she's into you, her body tells you, often before she even admits it to herself. Her gaze lingers longer. Her voice slows. Her touch becomes more frequent. Her body orients toward you. Her nervous system syncs with yours. Her breath deepens. Her lips part. Her eyes soften. Her posture shifts. Her skin flushes. Her personal space disappears. These aren't accidents. They're evolution's silent invitation. It's not your job to chase that signal. It's your job to recognize it, and respond like a man who respects himself. Because real masculine power doesn't force attraction. It waits for proof, and then moves with clarity. Women want to be understood, but not explained. Here's another truth: women respect men who see through the performance and respond to the unspoken current of reality beneath it. A woman might flirt, then pull back. She might act aloof, only to reveal deep interest through touch. Her words might be guarded, but her eyes are hungry. Why? Because female attraction is often veiled behind social conditioning. Women are taught not to appear too eager. They're taught to play coy, test men, and maintain plausible deniability. But their biology doesn't lie. Their autonomic nervous system reveals more than their social training ever could. This is why your ability to detect subconscious signs of arousal is not optional, it's essential. It gives you the ability to lead interactions without second-guessing. To move with confidence instead of neediness. And to walk away from lukewarm women who would drain your time, not feed your purpose. Sexual confidence is rooted in clarity. Once you begin to see the signals, you'll notice something strange: your confidence changes. You stop viewing women as puzzles to be solved. You stop tiptoeing around rejection. You stop trying to impress, because you're no longer operating in the dark. You're reading truth, in real time. That clarity sharpens your masculine edge. You begin to trust yourself more. You speak more slowly. You move more deliberately. You expect attraction instead of pleading for it. And women feel that shift. They feel when a man walks into a room and doesn't need their validation, because he's not guessing, he's observing. And he knows that if the signals are real, he'll act. If not, he won't waste a second. This grounded detachment, rooted in biological reality, is intoxicating. Not just to women, but to you. Stop playing the game. Start reading the code. You were never meant to be confused. The truth has been there all along, hidden in posture, tone, touch, gaze, and breath. But you needed a new lens to see it. Now you have it. Sexual intelligence is not about memorizing tricks. It's about training your perception. It's about tuning your awareness to the primal signals that every woman sends when she's truly interested, even if she never says it. That intelligence doesn't just elevate your romantic life. It elevates your sense of personal power. It transforms the way you carry yourself in every room, every interaction, every decision. Because when you stop seeking approval and start reading reality, you step into a new tier of masculinity. A tier where you choose the masculine path forward. From this point forward, let this be your standard. If her pupils don't dilate, if her breath doesn't shift, if her posture doesn't align, you don't chase. If her space closes, her touch escalates, her voice softens, you respond with grounded boldness. If the signals aren't there, you walk away with power. Because women's words might play coy, but their biology never does. And you are not a man who lives in the realm of polite confusion anymore. You are a man who sees. A man who listens not with his ears, but with his awareness. A man who understands that female desire is never random, it is biological, predictable, and involuntary. And once you know how to read the signs, you'll never waste energy on the wrong woman again. Final truth. You don't need to ask her if she's into you. Her body already told you. Now the only question is, will you act like a man who heard it? Or keep pretending you didn't? The choice is yours. And your future, your relationships, your confidence, your power, depends on making the right one.